roving reporter on the scene. If you're new here, let me catch you up. So I recently went on this 9-mile long run. I'm training for a half marathon, Hoover Dam half marathon, December 6th. This last week was a 9-mile long run, and before I was like broken down in tears, just an emotional place. It was a thing. So then I go on the run, and I've been training, so I find out I'm strong enough, much stronger than I was last week. And around mile 5, I had this thing happen that I call cruise control. I believe it's what the world calls the runner's high, where it's like you have enough strength within your body can carry you, it's strong enough, it's trained enough, and you can just cruise. Even though you're exerting effort, the struggle has ended. Okay, that's what it is. The struggle has ended. And what struggle is that? Which is gonna get me to my point here. The struggle within myself about, am I doing this? Can I do this? Why am I doing this? What the frick am I doing out here running 9 miles? Are you fucking crazy? Talking to myself. That part of me that's like, you said 1 mile? We have 8 more to go. Right? That has just stopped. It quieted. And why did it quiet? Well, because of the nature of the activity I was doing. Running 9 miles, right? It takes a lot of effort. That meant I had to be in continual negotiations up here, or my legs were going to stop running. And so there was this point around mile 5, I had won. It stopped chattering. And now it was no longer a struggle. And even though it was effort, it was a joy. It was joyful effort. And then around mile 6, I had a couple realizations. The first one was, I'm oxygenated. I was oxygenated. I felt like oxygen was coursing through my entire body. And I really was feeling the oxygen. And then shortly after that, I had this moment of my consciousness has been illuminated. It felt like a light switch had turned on, which I'm believing now, as I'm working this all out, was the jabber wabber up there. It had gone quiet. It had gone quiet because its suggestions weren't being listened to. It was telling me to stop. It was telling me I couldn't, but I kept on running. And so it gave up. It not gave up really, more deactivated because it was not getting my attention. And now this jabber wabber was deactivated. And now the light, this is the theory, the light that's always been there could shine. And so then I had 3 miles of freaking serenity. And it sounds weird because I'm running, right? But it was good. It was good. Now here's the main thing I'm getting out of it. That's where to start. Because what happens to me, at least until now, is I do all this effort, I run, I get to this place of serenity, of this runner's high, of this piece of my consciousness being illuminated. Then when the run's over, jabbity 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 jabbity, let me tell you what to do. Here it comes back. After I just did all that work. And now it's gonna take over again. What? No. Okay, I'm laying down a new law. So what did I do to get it there? I didn't listen to it, and I didn't express it. I didn't act on its ideas that feed in my head of thoughts of you can't stop, right? It's limited, it's very predictable. I kept running, and so I wasn't listening to it. Now here's the thing, I also wasn't talking to anybody, so it's kind of an advantage situation. Because when you're talking to people, oh boy, better get ready, right? Because I say something, and then if I'm coming from that feed of thoughts when I speak, now they say something back, and now I react to what they said, and there's a whole thing that goes on. And I'm learning that I just need to say less. Right? Be aware. What am I drawing people's attention to? What am I bringing to the conversation? What am I bringing to the table? And it starts within me. So in that 9-mile run, I found that zone. But then the run ended and I was like, oh, I did so good. I made it there. But then I didn't keep doing the work. Well, I'm back to it now. And I'm going to remember that the run is to get me ready to do the work. It's to get me ready to what? Pause. That's what I'm getting mostly in my life. If I would just pause a lot more, like, someone says something and then there's a reaction, what to say, real fast. Sometimes it even comes out real fast. Then it comes out, and now what do? Oh, I have to be right, because there's this relentless need to be right as a human being. We'll die to be right. Prove our point. Now I say something, now I gotta be right, so now I'm justifying what I said, backing it up, and it leads to this whole thing that's no fun for anybody. And so, if I can pause, this is my quest, okay? Join me on it if you want, and I'll report in as roaming reporter, roaming, whatever you want. I'm here on earth and I'm working through it every day. Is pause. And then in the pause, before I say something, I can put a breath in there. I can just recognize what I would have said. And sometimes when I do it, I realize what I would have said would have led me somewhere I don't really want to go, right? Because my words lead, like the people in my life, whatever I'm saying, it's like a computer. The data I put into the computer has to do with what the computer gives back to me. Like a search engine, Google, put the search in, TikTok, YouTube, put the search in, and now it gives me data back based on what I inserted in. And I'm realizing my words are data that I'm inserting into the computer, other people's computer, and the main computer of the universe. So be careful with them. Use them. Use them to serve a greater good. So when I'm running, there's no one I'm talking to, and due to the nature of the activity I'm doing, it demands that either I gain control of myself or I'm gonna stop running. And so far in life, I choose that I gain control of myself. But the lesson here today is that's not where it ends, that's where it begins, right? So after the run next time, being more conscious of, okay, I got myself in the zone, now let's use the zone. Well, what am I gonna have to do to keep the zone going when I'm interacting with others? I'm gonna have to have a pause in there. Practice the pause. Practice it just like anything else, like practice my nutrition. I don't just eat anything. I've practiced what I will ingest into my body. Practice what I ingest in my mind, and practice what I regurgitate out my mouth. It's been known that Jesus said it's not so important what goes in your mouth as what comes out of it. Makes sense. Yeah, put the good stuff in, have great nutrition, be aware of what I'm consuming, but even more importantly, be aware of what I'm expelling. What am I saying? And not just what I'm saying, but where is it coming from? Is it a reaction? Is it something I was gonna say right away, a real fast thought that's now in the feed of the past? And so I can only ever get where I've gone. It doesn't have the new directions. It doesn't know how to get to the next place, but there is a part of us that does. The higher self, that part that I felt like a light went on in mile 6, the illumination, which I'm now theorizing was just that the other voice got quieted, and so there wasn't any fog in the room, and so the illumination that was already there could reveal itself. Allow that speak on behalf of the higher power kind of thing. So that's what I'm gonna be trying out. And I'm realizing that if I want to do it, I'm gonna have to have a pause installed so that I can let the higher power come through, get my words, not even my words, right? Their suggestion, a feed coming from the past, programming. And if I can pause, then that programming, just like, okay, swipe right or left, whichever way you swipe, say I don't want something, just wipe it away. And allow the illumination to come in, the higher power to come in, and then speak.